This is a brief documentary about how I make traditional flat highlight videos from my spherical recordings of volleyball matches. I use Final Cut Pro to edit my videos. Here I start it up and create a new library to edit the new highlight video. I create a 360-degree scratch project to isolate the original video to be used in the highlight. The resolution used matches the original recording by the camera. I import the original video from the camera as a clip. I have already reviewed the files and I import the specific file that I need for this highlight after reviewing the import settings. I add the original clip to the scratch project. I have already reviewed the clip and identified the approximate start and end times of the planned highlight. I blade the timeline at those timestamps and create a compound clip that will become the highlight. I create a flat 4K project to edit the highlight. Normally I would give a name to the highlight project, but in this case I left it untitled. I add a 10-second gap to the beginning of the timeline in which to place an opening title. Then I add the compound clip that I just created in the 360-degree scratch project and follow it with another 10-second gap for an end screen. Here, I write the opening title. I reorient the view to roughly match the start of the highlight. I locate the frame where I wish the highlight to begin. I use keyframes and reorientation to simulate the movement of a traditional camera to follow the volleyball. I use the arrow keys to advance the video frame by frame to select the keyframes. I use several keyframes and let the ball overtake the viewing angle. The ball is a blur that can be hard to follow. I add a keyframe whenever a player contacts the ball to give an appealing view of the play. During this part of the edit, I looked for possible frames to use as thumbnail images. I decided to use the moment of the block in the thumbnail for this highlight. Adding markers would make locating potential thumbnail frames easier when they are needed later, but I don't do that this time. I continue to follow the ball using keyframes and reorientations until the end of the play. I take a moment to admire the infraction, then I follow the player to the end of the highlight. I've just finished using keyframes and reorientation, so I press the Done button. I use the blade and the cutting tool to remove unwanted portions from before and after the highlight. I add audio fades to the beginning and end of the highlight. I extend the audio for 2 seconds into the preceding and following gaps, and I also increase the durations of the fades to 2 seconds. Normally, I would add crossfades as well, but I skipped them this time. I check the quality of the video by watching it through. I add an end title that is suitable to appear in the YouTube end screen that will have links to other curated videos. At this point, the video is complete and ready to export. I locate the frame I've chosen as the thumbnail and then export it as a JPEG image. I export the video to an MP4 file and wait for the conversion to finish. Finally, I close the library and exit Final Cut Pro. I hope this has been useful to you for your own video productions. I've included links to the highlight video I just created and to another documentary about how I produce my spherical videos of volleyball matches.